There's a prayer written by Rabbis Karen Kadar and Rachel Goldenberg in the WRJ Covenant of the Spirit book that begins, "There is power in assembly. From ancient times, we have assembled as a people to bear witness to divine law and goodness, and to pursue justice." And so, here we are, gathered in assembly as women, gathered in assembly as the women of Reform Judaism, the women of this movement at our WRJ 48th Assembly, many dreams, one vision. I think you can already sense that it's going to be an enlightening, educational, transformative, fabulous experience. And I truly believe that we will bear witness to divine goodness, and we will certainly pursue justice during our 5 days together. And we, as women of Reformed Judaism, do this each and every day in our own communities during the more than 700 days since we were last together at Assembly. So what have we done in those last 700 or more days? I can start by telling you that it has been a joy, a privilege, and an astonishing experience to serve as your president. As your representative, I've traveled all over the world, from Toronto to Times Square, from Honolulu to Houston, and even though there's no alliteration, from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv to Haifa. I've represented WRJ at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion on all 3 of the stateside campuses, and I've been your ambassador to both our first-year HUC students in Israel and our HUC Israeli rabbinic students on the Jerusalem campus. It's awesome, really awesome, to see the results of the work that we do to support HUC, to support the college. It's absolutely inspirational to meet the Jewish professionals that are being trained to lead us into the future. Dreams turning into reality. I hope that many of you read my email messages when I traveled to Israel. Whether I was visiting the reform institutions that we support or presenting charters and gavels to our newest WRJ-affiliated women's groups, or representing us at the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations, I'm keenly aware that WRJ speaks and acts for Reformed Jewish women, women who understand the power, as Cecile Richards told us, the power of women coming together, and the strong connection that we have with our Israeli sisters as well as women around the world. We dream big dreams. And speaking of around the world and impacting the progressive Jewish future, I also represented all of you, represented us, at the World Union Convention in San Francisco last February. With apologies to the WRJ board right now who have heard this story, I'd like to relate an experience that I had at the World Union Convention, because I really believe that it bears repeating, and it illustrates so perfectly the value of our work. At that convention, I met a young man who's currently living and studying in Israel. His name is Leshy, and he's from the former Soviet Union. He told the story of when he was a young teenager, and he knew nothing about Judaism. His mother heard of the Netzer Youth Group summer camps that WRJ dollars helped to support. His mother told him that he would be able to go to this camp because his grandmother had been Jewish, and that best of all, they could feed him regular meals every day, something that she could not promise to do. So he went to that camp that summer, and he went back the following summer, and he is now a committed progressive Jew studying in Israel and living a Jewish life. Someone else, hearing this story along with me, said, "God certainly does work miracles." And Leshy looked at us and said, "God creates possibilities. People make miracles." We, the women of Reformed Judaism, are making miracles. We dream the dreams, and we turn many of those dreams into realities. There's another venue in which I represent WRJ, and it's arguably my favorite. And that's when I visit your sisterhood Shabbatons, your congregational simchas, our district area events and biennial conventions. Because it's at these events that I see the magical things that happen when women come together. It's during these times that I see the importance and the value of the programs, projects, and materials that WRJ provides to the women connected to Reformed Judaism. I love it when I join together to see women creatively raising money for the Yes Fund by honoring someone special in their congregation. I kvel when I see a sisterhood that has used our Just Ask materials to increase their membership, as clearly many of the sisterhoods we just honored did. I'm uplifted when I participate in a mitzvah project that a sisterhood created based on an idea of a previous Ora Me winner. And I'm blessed to participate in a sisterhood Shabbat in which materials from our collected scripts and services and covenant books are used. I'm so proud of the conversations on our multiple listservs. Yes, even when the topics are controversial. As long as they are caring and respectful, I'm proud of the discourse. And I'm positively gleeful when I arrive in a congregation and I see our beautiful materials, our brand new affiliations brochure, sitting somewhere in a public place in your congregations. I could go on. 700 plus days have been very busy and very productive. Of course, I would be less than totally forthright if I did not say that these last 2 years have also been times of great change and great transition in WRJ. To say that so much has happened since our last assembly would still be a massive understatement. As you all know, last February, after 7 years of dedicated service, Shelley Lindauer, our executive director, left WRJ. And although we were grateful for her service and leadership, it was vital that we move forward with all of our strategic planning and implementation of our programs. Right now, I want to publicly thank the devoted WRJ staff. Thank you. Amazing. And I also want to thank the supremely dedicated group of lay leaders who serve as your officers. Each and every one of these women immediately accelerated into high gear when we needed them. The office continued to function, our sisterhoods continued to be served, and the search for new professional leadership began the moment we needed it to happen. And as you know, at the end of last March, we hired our interim executive director, Robin Cohen. Robin gave new definition to the phrase, hit the ground running. In these last 9 months, just to name a couple of things, we've had budget meetings, board meetings, we've created new Yes Fund materials, we've published an affiliation brochure, we've continued and amplified the planning for our 100th anniversary in 2013, and oh, by the way, we've planned and orchestrated this incredible assembly. Many, many, many dreams. And many, many thank yous to Robin. And more transitions. Following the WRJ officer's decision to hire an interim executive director, we embarked on the process of a full search for our next long-term executive director. Again, a fabulous committee of lay leaders, your leaders, worked countless hours on this process that took several months. The process was serious and deliberate, and although I know this was announced publicly through our listservs and our website, and actually a great deal of the international Jewish press, I'm thrilled to tell you that our next executive director, Rabbi Marla Feldman, is our guest for this assembly and will begin at the beginning of January as WRJ's next executive director. And we welcome her to WRJ. The English novelist Arnold Bennett once wrote, "Any change, even a change for the better, is always accompanied by drawbacks and discomforts." And I think this is completely true, and it has certainly been true for our beloved WRJ. No forward progress comes without those discomforts and drawbacks. We cannot grow without overcoming challenges or taking leaps of faith or looking at parts of ourselves that may be a little uncomfortable to face. They don't call it growing pains for nothing. We, the women of the movement, although we have always been the doers and the people who get the job done, we've also been the dreamers. We really do extremely well at dreaming the big dreams and dreaming a lot of dreams. Creativity and inspiration are things at which we excel. In the midst of transition, change, discomfort, one is tempted to ask, maybe the many dreams are good, but do we really have one vision? Can we find the path forward when it might seem that our dreams are divergent? Can we really create one vision when our dreams come from different places, different voices, and sometimes point us in different directions? Is it really possible to have many dreams and one vision? You may have guessed that I believe it is possible. But the solution, of course, lies in the process. We're the voice of the women of this movement. We are the perpetuators of our future. And we're creating that future for the next generation of Reformed Jews. And that's visionary, as actually Connie alluded to in her opening prayer. That was the vision of our foremothers, and that is our vision today. But how do we do this? What is that process? How we do this is by ensuring that we hear all of our voices, by ensuring that we listen to all of our voices, by sharing our dreams with one another, and by ensuring that we categorize and prioritize and do the hard work of actually creating real, undreamlike realities, the kinds of realities that propel us forward. The many dreams are important and hopeful and inspirational and sometimes troublesome and exciting. And they're the key to our future. The novelist Maria Robinson says, and I quote, "Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending." End quote. WRJ is continuing and starting today and starting on Sunday afternoon as everyone is leaving starting to dream a new ending to the story that is 98 years old and to the story that I am completely convinced will still be being written when another generation will be planning our 200th anniversary. And you all, every person in this room, understands why that is exactly going to be what happens. Because the many dreams will ultimately create the diverse yet solid foundation on which we build that one vision. And we will build it together because we are stronger together. And I thank each and every one of you for your commitment to WRJ, for the faith and the trust in me as your president. I'm humbled and honored and confident that we can and we will transition and grow. We are sisters in an amazing community, amazing community. And our dreams are filled with determination, optimism, clarity, and clarity of vision. And I thank you all.